This is a RAS model 74.25 CNC hydraulic folding machine with back gauge. Serial number 4740. Alright.
Yeah, quick shot of the console. We'll move around once and then come back to this. Foot pedals down here. We're open right now, presently. Lifting brackets on the floor, inconsequential, but that's what those are. They mount up on the upper beam here. A couple of scales. We got the twin scales for the folding beam. We got the scale for the lower beam there. 1/10 of an inch. Dial assembly for the over travel on the bend and the 0 home switch down low. That's all adjustable. Coming around, all covers, hydraulic pumps down low, hydraulic tank assemblies all down there, sight glasses. Back gauge with the stops. I don't have the air on it right now, but that works fine. Just air cylinders on there, but back gauge moves nicely. All through here. We've got some books down here, a whole box of manuals. Electrical drawings are all in there, not a problem. Here's the air hookup right there, just for the fingers on the back gauge. Power on, off. It's our main hookup through there. We are presently running at 480 volts. There's my temporary 3-phase on the floor. Electric panel right here. Floppy drive, PLC, power supply. All your standard switch gears right in here. I/O board is over here, all the inputs from the machine. And the transformers, 3 or 4 transformers down there. This would be the drive, I believe, for the back gauge. And here's the other hydraulic motor with the encoder on it for the folding beam right here. It's got one encoder. The upper beam has 2 digital devices that tracks it inside of here. And of course the lower beam also has a tracking device. So coming back through here, we've already been calibrated. Bring the control around here a little bit, and depending on where you want to stand here, I'm going to face this way. This is the main page right in here with the multi-bend 9000. Just a cursory. We'll fly through it, everything but F1 because that's programming. F2 technical data. It's all just information, folding machine, serial, software version type, all that good stuff. And we'll exit out of that. What's next? F3 is, for in and out of, coming in and out of the floppy disk. Some of these older programs they're corrupted now, but there's a couple in there. In fact, that's the one I'm using right now, is that FLO 201. I brought that up, no problem there. And what else do we want? Back to the main. Tool index. I haven't done much with the tool index. That's these 3 boxes right here. There was a library in there one time, but we reset everything. That's that page. And tool index for the bending beam, which is purple. It's nice, all color coded. Lower beam is green. And what was F1? F1 is upper beam. Okay, those are the 3 library pages. So we'll X out of that. Is right here, and reset I haven't even touched because I don't need to reset anything. And of course the main one is F1, which gets us into our jobs. Now I'm on job 4. It's easy enough just to arrow through this stuff. Each one of these lines is an individual job because there's space in between. If there's a space in between, it's end of program automatically. These 2 guys, it would do 2 steps in a row automatically. We'll just do a couple of singles for the sake of our video here. In fact, I can start right there with that 90-degree bend. The back gauge will go to 13 inches. The closing beam will close to 70 thousandths. We're just pretending here, of course. We're only bending air here, but it'll close to that amount. And 2 inches return stroke on the upper beam. When we're done with the part, it'll go up 2 inches. And these 2 guys here are the lower beam and the folding beam adjustment where they want to be, and that's right up in here. And if you watch this, I'm going to start hydraulics and I'm going to hit start, and no matter what line we're on, when I hit start, it goes to those preset parameters. So I'm going to hit that right now. I'm going to power up, and I'm going to hit that 90. I don't know if that's the last one I was on. I'm going to hit start, and you hear the back gauge going back. Went up a little bit. Now that's moving, and that moved just there, see? I'll just go to another line program and I'll call out a different job. It's got different parameters, and watch the back gauge. As soon as I hit start now, that back gauge will move back there, and then this guy moves. Here we go now. That comes in, that just moved, then this, and now that. So it's back gauge, folding beam, upper beam, lower beam, in that order. Let's do one more job. We'll go back to, let's do this next one. It's an 80-degree bend. I'm going to hit start again. One, that's good, and the rest of it's happy. We're there. And going back to the 90, let's do the 20. Now you can kind of pull back a little bit. I'm going to do this 20. It's going to reset. And I'm going to run this one, which is basically closing. We're going to close to, well, we have no number for the folding beam here, I mean for the upper beam. So when there's no number there, it's just going to clamp on itself right on the dies. Gently. Here we go. It'll just close up entirely. And there's the safety switch. Now we're going to go below that and clamp up. That's closed. It'll stay. Now the screen tells me folding beam next with a question mark. Yes. Let's do our 20-degree bend. I'm off of it. It's set at a real slow speed. That's that guy. And then we can move, stop there, and let's go to the 80-degree bend. 80 degrees, 7 inches back on the back gauge. It'll come down to within 1/8 of an inch of the tooling area, and we won't move at all here. It'll stay the same because there's nothing in these boxes. I'll hit start. It's all set, and I'm going to close it. Now we've got the tooling up really high, but just so you can see what's going on. There's that 1/8 inch, if you notice, the .125. We're not touching the steel now. I'm going to bend it. That'll be an 80-degree bend. I don't know what speed we're at. Let's see. That's a slow speed. So after this bend, come on back over here with the camera. We're going to change the speed of the bending arm. That looks like 10-15%. Let's see what we got. And up. All right, still on the same line. What we need to do over here is, if we go into parameters, we stop. Parameter data right here. Upper beam is at 75%. That's okay. Next, oh, there it is. Bending beam, speed 15. Let's change that to like 85. Done. It's recorded. Just for the sake of it, there's 4 of these boxes. Next one is backstop information and variable, and we're not doing a variable bend. So we just changed one item there, and that was it. Exit. We changed it to 85%, same bend. I'm going to clamp up, just hit it. Watch it do its thing. It should come up a lot quicker now. If I start, that would help. There we go. Closed, that same 1/8 inch, and then. That's 85%. I'm going to go to the next line. It'll be 2 lines farther. We're going to go to 94%. And let it set. And we'll close up. And bend 94 this is. Do one more. That's a nice bend. And bend. And I can raise the upper beam a little bit just to show you in this manual mode. Oh wait, gotta leave that in this mode. There we go. That goes way up. Same difference. If I want to go back down again, go right back into my program. Safety switch. Go down. Bend 94 degrees. Quick setup feature. That'll be good for that. Stop this and go back to the main page. If we go into the calibration page and hit service, we can do the bending beam right here just by hitting plus or minus with the bending beam. So I'm going to hold F5 and F1 and watch the bending beam. This is for servicing or for setup. I can stop it right there. It'll fall back by itself a little bit. Let me go a little bit more. I'm just playing around here. This is a manual mode, just so you guys can kind of see what happens here in slow motion. And I can go F2, that brings it down. F1, back up again. If we need to service it or block it up right there, that's when we do it. Back down. This is just all in the service mode. I'm going to take it all the way back down to 0. And it's happy. That's about it. Back to the main page. If we can exit and main page right here. That's it. It's a wonderful thing. We're good to go, Harold. There's a lot more in there, but you just don't have nowhere near the time on video to show all the setup pages and the tool library pages.